kind of slumlord is under attack in L.A. A city councilman is going after people who rent rundown RVs to the homeless. CBS 2's Randy Page is live in Chatsworth, where the temporary homes have become a problem. Randy.
That's right, Pat. These trailers are actually owned by the people who live in them. They provide the only shelter they can have because they are members of the homeless community. But a city council member says there are other trailers in much worse shape than these that are actually being rented to members of the homeless community by unscrupulous landlords. Dion Leger is one of the 58,000 people who are homeless in the city of Los Angeles. He lost the job he had for 5 years selling tools, then injured his back in a car accident. He put his pennies together and bought this tent trailer.
Health-wise, it's better than being out on the street.
Dion may be better off than others who rent their RVs rather than own them.
So would you say this is the newest example of slumlords?
This is the newest crop of I think beyond slumlords.
LA City Council member Mitchell Englander says it begins with RVs and trailers that are towed away by the city because they aren't registered, often don't run, and are usually in terrible shape.
Then we have these slumlords, this underground market, if you will, that are buying them from the auctions, from the salvage yards. They tow them back to locations and rent them out and prey on the most vulnerable in society.
Councilmember Englander says these so-called slumlords will buy a trashed RV for $50, then rent them to the homeless for $10 a day.
Inside these vehicles, you've got rats and cockroaches, you have sewage. The septic tanks aren't operational. They don't have running water. They're a fire hazard. We've seen people actually die in these vehicles because of that.
The homeless who live here tell us they own these trailers. What do they think about landlords who rent unsanitary wrecks to unsuspecting people?
I think it's pretty terrible. They shouldn't be doing that.
Councilmember Englander says there's nothing illegal about buying wrecks and renting them out, at least not yet. He's introduced a motion that would criminalize the practice.
What would you say to those who are buying and then renting them out?
We're closing those loopholes, but we're also coming after you.
Now, it's important to point out that many of the RVs and trailers you see along city streets are in much better shape and are providing shelter and home for families across the city. The point that this attempt is being made here in the City Council for this motion as it moves forward is to try to find those RVs that are actually exploiting the homeless and try to get rid of them. Let's go back to you.